Every single week, The Mandalorian keeps outdoing itself. Last week we finally got to see live-action Ahsoka Tano and learn Baby Yoda's real name, it's Grogu to you. This week at least matched last week's WOW-ness by finally giving Star Wars fans something they have literally been waiting 40 years to see, Boba Fett in action. After a brief tease in the season premiere, Temuera Morrison made his full debut as Boba Fett in the Mandalorian episode, The Tragedy. But this is a Boba Fett unlike any we've ever seen before, mainly because the most important thing Boba Fett ever did in the original trilogy was look cool as hell. He didn't do much else. That changed in Chapter 14 of The Mandalorian, and now we know way more about Boba Fett and his origin. Let's get into it. Who is Boba Fett? Don't make fun of this question, because it's valid. Seriously, how much did you know about Boba Fett's personality before this episode? You knew he was a bounty hunter and an unaltered clone of Jango Fett, that he had a habit of disintegrating his prey, and that Han Solo was no good to him dead. That's it. So, who was he, as a person? Photo. Disney+, The Tragedy, finally, after 40 years. Gives Boba Fett an on-screen personality. He's cold and steely as Beskar, a real Old West-style gunslinger type. But, as we see throughout the episode, he follows a pretty strong code of honor. First, he saved Fennec Shand's life, seemingly out of the goodness of his own cloned heart. He says that she was left for dead in the desert, just like he was. That implies that he connected with her, that he saw her as more than just a potential weapon. Boba Fett has empathy. A bigger moment comes when he steals his armor from the Razor Crest. Djarin never agreed to the deal Boba offered him, the green armor in exchange for Grogu's safety. So Djarin never gave Boba the armor back, so he didn't technically fulfill his end of the bargain. Boba circumvented the deal when he just took the armor. But when Grogu gets captured, Boba doesn't take the armor and run, even though he totally could. When Djarin finds out that Boba is actually of Mandalorian heritage, he hands the armor that Boba is already wearing over. Then Boba says he vowed to keep the child safe in exchange for the armor, and now he's all in. That's rad. How did Boba Fett survive falling into the sarlacc pit? The last time we saw Boba Fett alive and in the armor was in Return of the Jedi, where he met an embarrassing end. GIF. Disney+Then he popped up wearing a cloak and carrying Tusken Raider gaffi sticks in the Season 2 premiere of The Mandalorian. How Fett escaped his fate is something he doesn't get into in this episode. He just says that Fennec Shand was left for dead in the desert just like himself, and that fate sometimes steps in to rescue the wretched. Also, Boba Fett's armor is covered in weapons. It's not hard to imagine how he escaped.